Hi guys, I'm back. It's Jace Alvarez. My name's Jason actually. So it's Jace Alvarez on Instagram, and of course, this you are watching the I Love You Shop YouTube channel. This is going to be our second video, and now we are going to show you how to make the legend. This is an original design of mine. This is the second video that we're making, but the legend is actually my very first original design. I'm very proud of this because this is actually very nice. It was inspired by an idea. Again, it goes back to my love for period films, period characters, and this is supposed to be like a warrior's bracelet. So in case you're curious, this is the design, and I wanted it to really look like an armor. You will notice that there are design details, for example like the cuff, which I like very much. That's a really nice design, really neat. And then you have, of course, the other side, which highlights like the iron, warrior suit and shield and other battle items. So it's nice. And then the gold, of course, in the middle, it's like royalty for me. So, and then it's like Renaissance colors. So I like it because it really is very strong, and it's actually very thick. So yeah, nice. And this might actually be the first of a collection which I will be calling the classical collection, or the Renaissance collection rather. Sorry, I'm calling it the Renaissance collection because I like it, Renaissance, and very interesting collection. So I will be doing more designs similar to this. So this is the back side, but this is what I would like to call the signature side. So there. So we will be showing you how to make this. But before we start, I will remind you again, this is I Love You Shop. This is where you get your bands here in the Philippines, and we can also ship in other countries if ever that you're interested. We have really nice collections from metallic to pearls and jellies and glittered bands, everything you want, from bubble bands to heart-shaped bubble bands, a lot of stuff. Really nice. Okay, so don't forget to order. And also, of course, you can follow me, Jace Alvarez. So far, I'm the only one who's doing tutorials, but who knows, maybe later on we will be having some guest tutorials as well. We have really awesome followers and friends who are great bracelet designers. So now let's get going. The very first step of the legend bracelet is laying down our perimeter bands, and since we are going to be fixing it, I will have to cut this video and fix my configuration. Apparently I forgot to fix my bar pins. Give me 2 seconds, I'll be back. Okay, so wow, that's funny, our first blooper. Okay, so I finally have my bar pins set up. We have a 5 bar pin setup. This is actually a total of 15 bar pins. If you look, it's actually quite long. Well, maybe because I'm planning to have this done as a full wrap bracelet, adult wrist. So yeah, it is going to be quite long. But the nice thing is that you don't need extensions for it. So what you need to do is to just set it up this way in a staggered position. Yeah. So there, and you will see that. And you have to make sure, of course, that all your arrows are facing that way. Okay. So here. So the first thing that you need to do in order to make this legend bracelet is to lay in our perimeter bands, the border bands, and for this we will be using jelly baby blue or sky blue, very light blue. So you might almost not see it, but just so you have reference. And then these will be laid from the center going out. Okay, and from the center going out again on both sides, and you'll be repeating it for all side bar pins. All side bar pins. So as you can see, I laid it down there, and then it goes all the way up to the end of the bar pin, which I will have a hard time showing you already because our bar pin setup is really long, but I'm sure you understand how it's done, since this is the most basic step in most large or long or thick bracelet designs. So that is what we will do for this whole setup. as you can see. Yeah, and then on the other side as well, you just keep on putting it all the way up the bracelet. Oh, sorry, all the way up the bar pins. So the preparation for this is indeed legendary since it's going to be a bit of an effort putting all the bands together, but just so you know, in case you get this bracelet done, it actually is quite amazing. I like it a lot. It's very nice. So anyway, there you go. So we'll be laying all these perimeter bands and we will be back in a couple of seconds. So we'll see you at the end of the bars. Okay, so there you go. We laid out our perimeter bands, as you can see. This is the beginning, and then we went all the way up to the end, and you close it the same way you started it. Okay, you just go in and then you go towards the center, same configuration as how you started rather. So we now go and lay in the middle bands, which go right here. Okay, so for this we will be using two colors. We'll be using the pearl blue. Oh no, this is actually, yeah, it's pearl blue, and then we have this black charcoal type. Okay, so what we'll do is from here to the second peg, you just lay in one blue band and then another blue on the other side. So you just do it parallel to each other, then you put the black. Okay, then after you put the black, you put the blue again there. Okay, now as I advised earlier, it would always be better to straighten your bands so that when you loop, you're going to be very, very nice and clean and tidy and flat. Okay, so it's not ugly to look at, like untidy. So it's better to always loop it properly. So there, so black again, then you do your blue again. You can actually play around with the colors that you like, but based on how I feel about the design, I would like to somehow preserve how it appears like a warrior bracelet. So you can make it little bit feminine by maybe using some more feminine colors, but then again, it would be nice to stay with the metallic for the middle part of it to make it really feel like a warrior bracelet. So it depends on you, but it would be nice if it represented how the title says it's supposed to look like. So it's just a thought, but of course you're free to play around with it, do your ideas, make candy colors. It's okay. Depends on your age and depends on your taste. So basically that's it. So if you can see, we've been laying two bands in the middle from here to the bottom. That's blue, black, blue, black, blue, black, and then you just go all the way up to the end of your loom. Okay, so we'll be showing you that in 2 seconds. I'll just put all the bands so that you don't get bored watching me. I'll be back in 2 seconds. See you. Alright, so we now laid our middle bands all the way there. So we zoomed in a bit because we're getting a bit, well, the light here just got a bit darker, so we're adjusting as we go along. Hopefully you guys can see it. Just make comments in the comments box in YouTube. You'll see it below, so you can just let us know if ever there are problems so that we can adjust later on for the other tutorials. Okay, so now that we have the two middle bands laid, we're now going to go and lay our next layer, which are the bands on the side. These are the ones that go here. If you can see these brown bands that are there, those are the ones that we'll be working on right now. Okay, and those bands are the ones that go here. So all you have to do is get your, this is we're using metallic brown. Yeah, metallic brown. You have to put that on the second peg of the second bar pin, and then put it on the first pin of the first bar pin. So it just goes downwards. Then you put the next one upwards on the second one, coming from the same peg. So it's like a sideways letter V. Okay, so you do that, and then you skip the next one, then you do it on the next again right after that. So it goes, it's in a staggered setup as well. So you go from one bar pin and then you go to the next one, and then from the next one you skip another one, and then you move again here. So hopefully get it. Okay, so basically that's what you do. You just keep on repeating that all the way up. So I'll just show you a few more times so you can see. Going down, sorry, and then going up. Okay, by the way, please make sure that you lay them down the same order as you do all your parts, because it shows when you loop the bands, and then it's not nice if you're particular about it that one is on top of the other and then the other one is, you know, upside down. So it's nice if they're in the same order. So if the left is on top of the right, then it's nice to see that consistently, you know, going up the whole bracelet, so your bracelet will look very tidy. And I'm actually one who's very particular about that, mainly because I think that it really affects how beautiful a bracelet will turn out. So the cleaner it looks, the more it will be appreciated. So basically that's it. So I'll be back. Oh wait, sorry, let me might as well continue on the other side. So what you did on the left side, you will repeat on the right side, so it's the same. Second pin on the second bar pin, going down to the first pin at the first bar pin. You do it the same way. So there. Okay. And then you skip one bar pin, and then you do it again, and the other side. So it's always the lower one first, followed by the one on top of it. So when you loop later on, it will be in the same order, and it looks very, very clean. Okay. Once again, you can play with your colors, but for this I chose the metallic brown, and actually you will see quite a number of metallic bands here. Don't forget, you can actually order from ILOVEHUESHOP. You can see it in the description box of the YouTube channel, how you can order. You can order through Viber or Instagram. Just contact them and they're there, and they ship very, very quickly, and they have a very good variety of bags. So in case you're wondering again what the title of this bracelet is, or the name of this bracelet is, it's called Legend, an exclusive design made by me, Jace Alvarez, for ILOVEHUESHOP. So okay, so as you can see, we're just repeating the same step again and again, and I will be back in 2 seconds when this is done. See you on. Hello. Okay, so we're back, and we've laid the side bands, as I said, the brown bands right there. So they're all the way up to the end, as you can see. Okay, so we will now go back to the bottom of our loom. Okay, and then we will do the center bands. This one's the easiest, I think, because they're just really border bands. Oh, sorry, I call them the spine bands. And I'll be using red. And for here, in the bracelet, it's that gold that you see that runs up the center. So that's what we're doing, and I'm using this nice pearl, like cherry red pearl. And we're going to be placing it just as simple as that. Just like that. Very easy. Okay, easy breezy. And another. So we'll just keep doing that all the way up to the top. And I probably won't take a break on this one, because this is actually not going to be taking so much time. It's going to be a bit faster, so probably something that you won't have a difficulty with. You know, these bands are actually really nice. They're gorgeous. Very nice to work with. I think that you can do a lot of designs with this, and since it's very striking and bright and really attractive, you might actually want to use this as an accent color for anything that you're doing. Like, just make everything else subdued, like a plain white and a plain black, or a plain brown or a plain green, and use it as the accent, and it will be very, very attractive. It's beautiful. You should see them. it's different in the camera, but I think you will like it. So again, as I said earlier, when some bands are twisted, you have to just circle around it so that you flatten the bands, because I don't really like having messy bands, so just keep doing that. Okay, so it's important to always have those bands neatly done. So you just keep going all the way up. So we'll just continue. Okay, so bear with me. This is probably going to be the longest portion of our tutorial, since I decided not to take a break on this one. Something that you can probably follow very easily. Okay. I am in love with these cherry red bands. They're so attractive. If you haven't followed me, I'm on Instagram. My name is Jace Alvarez. Probably are tired of hearing that over and over again. And these bands you can order from ILOVEHUESHOP. Everything is in the description box. So just remember. And yes, I am using a 8 loom setup. So this is because I want a full wrap with no extensions. And finally, we're done. This is the last part of the spine. Okay, so there, we went all the way up for the center band. So go back to the bottom again and doing something called multitasking. So we now go lay our center bands. Now this is the part where I think it is going to be the most difficult, because you actually really have to pay attention, because it's almost like making a weave. You will be using these 3 pins in the middle, and what you will be doing is you start from the bottom, the one here, the second one, and then you go all the way to the center, skipping that first one. Okay, so that is going to be somewhat different. Let's zoom in a bit so that you can appreciate what I'm doing. There, yeah, very nice. Okay, so bottom of the second bar pin to the second pin of the third. So it's like creating letter A's actually. There. Again. So see. Okay. Remember that when you lay, you have to make sure that you're doing it in a consistent manner. By consistent, I mean you make sure that you're laying in the same side always. So if you're starting from the left, it's always from the left. If you're starting from the right, then it's always from the right, and you do it the same way all the time, because otherwise your bands are going to be so messy. Okay, so for this one, if you want to follow how I'm doing it, I'm always starting on the left. So here, we started on the left. From here to here, the second one will be from the middle going up, skipping one again. So you see, that's left first, and then the right first. Okay, but please pay attention, because if you're not going to pay attention, you might actually skip some of the pegs, and that's not going to be good. Okay, so you've done that, then you go to the second one, and then you just keep going up again, skipping one bar pin in the middle, sorry, skipping one peg of that middle, so you don't put there. Okay, so in case you're not getting it, I'll repeat it. So now we do the second bar pin, second peg rather, sorry, I'm getting confused. Okay, and then go up again that way. So that is something that we will be repeating all the way up, and that's actually just the most tedious so far. So we stop here, then that was the one that we did. So from here we go sorry, this peg going up again, from this peg going up. And in case you're curious, these ones that I'm placing right now, these are actually those nice, very nice, like iron suit looking, and that's what actually makes it a warrior bracelet. That's why I like calling it legend, because as you know, many of our legendary stories and heroes are actually from that period wherein they have won battles. And most of the movies that I actually love also, like Gladiator, you know, those ones. And since I am a huge Game of Thrones fan, I also do enjoy watching those things. That is why I love all of these period stuff. So yes, my inspiration is from them. So I hope you're following. As you can see, it's a bit of an ordeal laying this, because since we are only using one color for this center part, you can get confused. So make sure the best way to monitor this is you will see which bands are on top, and you will see the shape. So if the shape is that way, then that means if it's a V, then that means then the second shape should be an inverted A. An A. So if you have your A on top, then the next one should be a V. So you can tell from which one's on top. Okay? So since you have a V, then you have to do the A. Okay? Hopefully that makes it clear for you. Okay? So now that we have the A, we go back to the V again. And basically that's it. Okay? So this is going to take a lot of time. So I'll have to just keep on making this off camera, and I will be back when we have filled up this entire long setup. Okay, so I'll see you in 2 seconds. Okay, and we're back. So now we've laid our silver bands in the middle. As you can see, there goes all the way up to the end of the setup. So you can imagine how long our looping is gonna be. Okay, so we are now going to do the last part, or laying in the last of the bands, and we are going to lay in the white bands. Now these white bands go as an alternate color to the brown. So as you can see, we have two colors there. You have your white and you have your brown, and then you have your white. And that is why we did not lay down the whites at the same time as the brown, so that each side will have a nice highlight to it. Unlike other designs, both colors are always seen, but for this one at least the reverse side will highlight one color more than the other. So the white ones will go to the blank pegs that you have right after the brown. You remember we laid a brown here, and now we'll be laying a white on this peg going down to this peg. Okay, so it's basically the same shape as the brown. You just have to add to all those blank spaces now. So you just have to repeat it. Repeat the same step up the next vacant peg, and just keep going. Basically that's it. So you do that, and then you place that. So just so you know, we are going to repeat the same step on the other side. And as I suggested earlier, you have to keep your pattern consistent. So if you lay the lower bands first, you can lay it consistently all the way up. So you lay the bands going down, then you put the bands going up. That has to be consistent to have a very nice clean design. Again, you lay your bands downwards, lay your band upwards. So that just keeps going all the way up. Yeah. So more or less, I guess you know how that goes. I'm sure you can see it. So I'll see you in 2 seconds. Hooray! Okay, so we're back, and we finally laid in the white bands as well, and we are now going to turn our whole loom, and hopefully I don't drop it. Oh my gosh. Oh wait. There you go. So this is actually the looping process, but but before we loop anything, you will have to put cap bands on all the center pegs all the way up to the top. Okay, so if you want, what you can do is you can already put or place all the cap bands. What I do I just put it on there, and then I just use my finger and I just let it slide there to make that cap band, because I don't like looping it like that, and then it's harder to put it in there. So my suggestion is to just push it there and then loop the band out that way. Okay, so can you see that? One more, just loop it like that. It's faster. Okay, so it's actually a nice way to do it. One more time. This is actually going to be the easiest part, so maybe, I don't know if we should take a break, but you might get bored. So yeah, so this is going to be the ending, and just to make sure you don't get bored, I'll be back in 2 seconds. See ya. Okay, welcome back. We've finally placed all our cap bands right here, so you can see that is all the way up to the last peg. So cap bands, for those who are not familiar with what cap bands are, they're just looped bands. You just loop it twice like that. You can use your hook. That's just a technique, just sharing it, throwing it out there in case you don't know how, and then you can apply it on the peg. So that's what a cap band means. Excuse me. Okay, so the first part of the looping process is you are going to take the first two bands, the topmost, you can see it right here, okay, not these on the first peg because they're under. You are supposed to take the first two topmost bands, go inside that cap band and loop it out back to itself. Oops, sorry, my mistake. Hold on. Sorry, I messed up my own design. Got confused. Sorry. Let me repeat that. Okay, so we're back and we've already placed all our cap bands. So remember that if you don't know how to place a cap band, it's actually just a looped band. So all you have to do is just put it like that. Let's loop it once and then apply it on the peg. Okay, so when you loop, the first step in the looping is you take the silver bands in the center. That's the first one that we will do. And what you need to do is to go into the cap bands. For some of the advanced loomers, you already know this. Okay, so you go into the second peg because that is the layer that's on top. So you go into that cap band, take that band and bring it back to itself, just like that. And then you take the next one underneath and also loop it just back onto itself. Don't worry about that, that's going to fix itself later on. Okay, so as you can see, it's already there. And now the next one that you need to loop is the one that's under that. So you will go into the cap band of the first peg and bring this one upwards. And yes, it creates that tension on the cap band. That's why you need quite solid cap bands actually. So there. Sorry if my hand is getting in the way, but more or less you get the idea, right? So the next one is you want to go to the next cap band, get the topmost one, and again bring it back to itself. Same with the next one. I'm just going to go and bring it back to itself. Okay, and then here, just go and get that, bring it back to itself. Go and get that and bring it back to itself. There. So it creates that very nice, strong, tugging bands at the bottom. So it makes it look very organized. So if I may just remind you, you have to pick cap bands that are actually quite flexible so that you don't get to break any cap bands because they get tugged in all four different directions. So there. See? if you're getting a little bit confused, I will repeat it for you. Let me try to move out of the light. Let's see. Okay. Once again, you go to this peg where you see the V, and then you just, oh sorry, I meant to go into the, sorry, you go into the cap band, and then you take the one on top and then pull it down back onto itself, and then you get it, the other one, you get the other one, and then pull it back to itself. Then you go to the peg under, and then pull the ones under there and bring it back to itself, and same with the other band, and bring it back to itself. My hand is getting in the way, I'm sorry. Okay, let's try it this way. Okay. Once again, you go to the peg with the cap band and the one with the topmost layer. Bring down that silver, and then do the same with the other band and bring down that silver. Okay, then you go to the peg below and bring up that other one. Sorry, and then bring up the other one as well. I'll do it one more time before we move this, before we fast forward this. You go to the cap band, loop it back to itself, and then you go inside again and loop that back onto itself. You go to the peg underneath, under it, then you loop those to itself, and same with the other side. I'm sure you guys get that. Just remember, you always start with the peg with the cap bands. Okay, so I'll keep doing this, and I will see you when we get to the end of this looping process, and we'll show you step 2. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so we've finally laid looped the center bands, and you will see they look really pretty. It looks neat. There you go, all the way up. It's a very, very long setup. Okay, it's a full wrap, so it's gonna be exciting. Okay, so the next one that we will be doing are the side bands. Those brown and whites that you see. Brown and white. Brown and white. It's actually very simple. All you have to do is to get inside all of those bands and just loop everything out. So easy breezy. Okay, so let me show you. On the left side, all you have to do is get the topmost band, loop it out. Voila. Get the next one and loop it out again. There you go. And then you go here and loop the white one that way, and then get the next one and loop it out as well to itself. You're basically just bringing the bands back onto the pegs where they came from. So on the other side, it's the same. Okay, this is the top one, so you loop it there. Sorry, I'm left-handed, so it's getting in the way, but you loop this and it goes that way. Same with the next ones. You just get the one that's on top and loop it there, loop it back to itself, and get the next one and loop it back to itself. See? Very easy. So next, just one more time so that you can see. Okay, right there. Get in those bands, make sure you're grabbing the right one, get the top band. Slowly, especially if there's tension, you see that? Do it slowly so they don't break your bands. You wouldn't want that to happen. And then get the next one. Loop it out. Oops, it's a bit twisted. Sorry. Try not to have twisted bands as much as possible. Okay, oops, that's getting up. Okay, then next here, just make sure you get the ones on top. loop it out that way. Then get the next one and loop it out again. Yeah, very much fun. And one last time before we actually continue this off camera. Oops, we got both. Okay, let me fix that. When you're getting confused, you just have to put your hook right in there and just keep turning it, and everything else will fall into place. Okay, so there. Once again, get in there and get the top one, top band, and loop it back to itself. Get the top one and loop it back to itself. Do it on the other side. Get the top one and loop it back to itself, and then the next one. Loop it back to itself. Oops, having a hard time there. Okay, so we'll continue this off camera, and we will go all the way up, and I'll see you right after. Okay, hello, and finally, oh my god, after such a long process, we were able to loop all of the side bands already. These side bands are the ones that go here. So you have your brown and whites. So they go there. They go there. Okay? Now we are going to loop the center spine band. I like calling it the spine. I don't know if somebody's used that, but I like using that. Oh, by the way, you see those blue underneath? It's nice. It's an accent. So that's what the cap bands do. Those blue. So it's nice. You can actually probably look for something brighter if you want it to pop out, like a really bright red or something like that. So that's an idea. So we will loop the center spine bands, which I call, and those are the ones underneath there. For this, we used red. This one's really easy. All you have to do is to just go into your cap bands and take those vertically placed bands, pull it up and bring it up like that. The first one is really loose, so don't panic. Okay, and then you get the next one and it just goes all the way up. I have a feeling this one's gonna look really good because the red is just really so bright. I can see it in the camera. It looks really cool. I should probably use more of this to highlight the designs. I think this will look good in the corset. Yeah, and maybe even for Halloween we can probably create like a Dracula bracelet. Very nice. And red, I love it. Okay, there again. So we won't take a break anymore. Instead, I'll just keep going because it's actually the easiest part of the bracelet. If you notice, I'm actually going pretty fast. Just be careful. Well, with this one, you don't have to panic anyway in case it gets misplaced because it doesn't really go anywhere. It just goes under. So all you have to do is to just pull it from underneath and get it on top again. So that's not going to be a problem. But in case you didn't realize when we were laying the bands earlier, when you think about where you put your bands and how you lay them down and what color you pick, it actually makes such a difference when you pick the correct combinations because as you can see here, it really does show the gold and the reverse side. It makes such a huge difference. Looks very nice. Oh look, my band just popped and it doesn't go anywhere. It just stays there. So no panic. See? So that's not a worry. You just have to keep putting it back up there. These red bands are gorgeous. Very nice. Like cherry red bands. This would be nice on a black and red bracelet actually. Once again, these bands are from ILOVEHUESHOP. And if you want to order these amazing bands, all you have to do is just go on Instagram and follow ILOVEHUE. Hue is H-U-E, not Y-O-U. Okay? ILOVEHUESHOP. That's where you get the bands. And follow us on Instagram. And me, Jace Alvarez. If you like original designs, we can create some more. But for now, we have these two. This is the Legend, which we hope you like. So The last two bands are now being looped, and I like it because I am really excited to see how this one will turn out. The red one looks amazing. See? Very nice. Okay, so we go back down. Okay, and this time we are done. We are just going to loop out the lock of the bracelet. So we now go and oh yeah, oh my god, thank you for pointing that out. We're not yet done. We still have one more step. Okay, I just realized that I actually still have my bands under there. That is going to be quite easy. So in case you haven't noticed, we still have our black and blue bands under there. Okay, and those black and blue bands are the ones that go there to the side. What's cool about that is here, they're just accents, right? But when you turn it around, you have your two single chains running up the center. Ain't that cool? And one feature I like about this is it has like a cuff that I actually like to call cuff, which makes it more, look more like a weapon, which I really love. You can just pop it out every time you want it to come out. So see, it looks cool. See, that's magic. Okay, so let's do that. All you have to do is to just pick on those bands you have at the bottom. The bottom, you have your second and you have your fourth. Both of them have that line, and you just go all the way up. Okay, so let me show you maybe 4 or 5 times, and then you can go take a break, because since it's 2 parts, then hold on, let me see, let me just make sure I loop the correct one. Why am I getting the wrong one? I'm getting the black. Okay, oops, there you go. Yeah. Okay, so you get the black one and you go to the side. You don't loop it upwards to the same bar where it came from. Again, in case you didn't get that, you get it, and then you loop it sideways. Okay, it's not upwards. Yeah, underneath it will look like a straight chain, but on the other side of it, like I showed you, it goes to the sides. So see, that's why it has 2 different designs, and it's cool. That's what makes it cool. Okay, so there, just go there. If you need to loosen it, just push it out there so it doesn't get, there's not much tension and you don't risk breaking a band. So there, see, easy, very easy. Let's do the other side. Okay, so this, you again hook under and get that black band. Oops, there, then hook it to the side, and then get the blue one, hook it to the side. See, that's that, and it's very easy, very nice. Okay, so I'm sure you guys already understand that and you get that. So I will be back. Just remember, everything to the sides. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. Yay, finally we got everything looped. Yes, we got our side bands, we got our center band, and we got our armor there, that warrior looking center. So this is how your loom is supposed to look like. Everything here is looped upwards, everything is crossed, and then you have your side bands here, and then you have everything else that's sorry, going sideways. See how it goes all the way up there. Okay, now we are going to we are going to loop finally the outer perimeter bands, the lock of the entire bracelet, and from then on we are going to be able to take this off the loop. So sorry, all you have to do is go into this cap band, take the top band, hold on, there we go. Excuse me. Okay. And then we go to the next one and loop that one up. There you go. Okay, so just be careful because those are jelly bands. I suggest that you just stretch it out properly. And then when you loop, try to stretch it as much as you can from underneath before actually pulling it out, and then support it. If it's a bit too tight, you hold on to it, then loosen it from here so that you give it a bit of slack, so it can easily stretch, because at this point you cannot afford to break any bands. No way. That would be the most horrible thing. Same with the other side. Just get everything in there and make sure you're picking up all the bands so that you are sure that everything is part of that lock that you are creating for all the bands, and make sure they're all within that band so you are safe there. So now we will go all the way up to the end of the loom, okay, and I will show you a few just so that you are aware. Go all the way in, all the way in, and get that last band, pull it up a bit, and then pull it up. It's a lock right there. Same with the other side. Take it out and then bring it up on that side, and if you can see that there's tension, all you have to do is to just pull it around, and there you go. See, that way it's not so tight. Same with the other side, just to be safe, because you don't want to break any bands anymore now that you're done. Again, get the bottom band, loop it upwards, and then loosen it to assist it. Okay? So same with the other side. Pull it out. There. And then there. And then again, assist it a bit. Okay. Just one last time before we actually do the entire row and do it off cam. Yeah. There you go. Ooh, scary. It is so scary. Okay, there you go. Okay, thank God for flexible jelly bands. Okay, there. And another one. This is the slowest part of the process because you're just really gonna make sure, since all the bands are already looped on the pegs, the tension on the last band is actually quite a lot for it to really be able to go over the peg easily, so you really need to assist them. Okay, so one last time, here it is. Get the bottommost band, put it out, and then put it on top. Okay, then circle it just to make it more comfortable. And one last time for the other side. There you go, and then we do that. Okay, so we are going to go off cam and continue this whole process and go back as I show you how to lock this part. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, finally we were able to loop everything, so side bands are properly looped now, and we just loop everything back to the center. Okay, so this is supposed to be completely looped and everything is supposed to be locked. So we just learned that it's best to move your loom sideways just to check that everything is in, because we actually just fixed something. We just didn't show you anymore, but that's a good learning. So before you even remove, just check everything and make sure that everything is secured within the locks. So we turn our loom around, and just so that you can get it, okay, we are going to lock the last 2 pegs. And we are going to use the 2 bands that we placed there earlier. So the best way to do that is you go in your front peg, put your hook right there, and just look at it closely just so that you make sure that you got all the bands in there. Okay, so one more time, put your hook inside and then all the way down, and then make sure all the bands are inside, and then you grab this band right here. Okay, you grab that and turn your hook a bit just to grab it, and then pull it out. Okay, pull it out like that, and support it with your hands, of course, just to make sure it doesn't fly away. And then, sorry if my hands are blocking it a bit, you can loosen this up a bit, just there, just getting it out. Okay, and then you lock it, you lock that with that one hook handle, and then you go to the other side and do the same thing. Okay, but since I'm left-handed, I will probably block your view a bit because I'm left-handed. So can I work with my right? Let me see, maybe I can. Let's see, this is gonna be a challenge, but there you go, got that. And then you bring it up again. Oops, wait, I think I took something else with it. Okay, again, just to make sure. I'm gonna make sure it's clean. Let's try the other side. Maybe we can take it from here. Okay, so as I was saying earlier, we are looping locks. So you picked it up from underneath both of those. And this is a style of mine that I like to do because that way I don't have to, worry about locking my bands. So you just put them all together in one hook, and then for this, just because the bracelet is kind of tough, it's really heavy duty, we might want to reinforce it by adding 2 more bands. Okay, what I do is I just put it on there, and then I support it, and then I'll just slip off those bands. Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, and then just slip it over there, and then have those 2 extra bands be part of the bands that you will be hooking. So at least it's, it gives you a bit more slack. And then that is where you want to get your C-clip and actually clip those 4 bands right there. See? So they're now clipped. Okay? Sorry, I got off cam. Okay, so we are now ready to take our bracelet off the loom. Cross your fingers, please. Okay, so my style is, like I said, I don't just rip it off. I make sure I take it off one by one, slowly. So this is how you do it. This is how you do it. Okay, you just do it one by one, carefully. Support it, especially that we have so much layers. You have to make sure that you protect your bands properly. Otherwise, you don't want your whole bracelet to collapse just because you were careless in removing them. Okay? So this is a style that I do. I just remove it one by one. Again, it will take a bit of time, but it's to guarantee that you have a bracelet that's solid and intact. You can actually start removing some of your bar pins if you're done. So, like that. Then continue. Just remove it one by one. Just have a bit of patience doing it, because patience will give you a better looking bracelet. So, okay. Just when you thought it was the easiest part, nope. I'm not gonna let you off that easy. You want to make sure you don't have to repeat this whole process over again, because it actually does take more than an hour, I think, to make. I'm not mistaken. Okay, then you go to the other side, but since I'm left-handed, I'll be turning my loom around. There we go. and do the whole process again. Just remove one by one. Okay, carefully. I'm still doing it fast actually, but since this is a tutorial, we have got to do it as fast as we can to make sure you guys don't go nuts. It's almost like watching a movie, doing a loom bracelet for 2 hours. I actually now have to pick watching a movie or making a bracelet. So we are actually very near. I am excited how to see how this turns out. For those who are still wondering, we are making the legend bracelet, an original design by me, hey, Jace Alvarez. And all bands, of course, are courtesy of ILOVEHUESHOP. So if you like this tutorial, please subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends. We would love to have so many of you making our bracelets. And of course, order your bands from us. We have very good bands, and as you can see, these are all pretty neat and pretty. Okay, I'm trying to pull it off the loom, and I'm trying to be as careful as I can be, but some of them stick to the bar pins, so you just gotta be a little bit more careful. Don't just rip it off, because you want to make sure that they are still okay. So support it well. Okay. It's so scary. I don't like doing it. Okay. This is the part I hate the most, because it always makes me scared. Okay, you know what? I give up. I'm gonna be pulling it off from underneath. Okay, I still feel more comfortable that way. Sorry guys, but I feel so much safer doing it this way. It just feels so much better. So much work is put into this, and I am hungry. Yeah, but this is a great looking bracelet, and I can actually see the red popping out. It looks awesome. The red looks great. Wow. As you can see, we are almost there. Halfway through the bracelet. So, hard work requires patience. We will make it. Okay, so we're not taking a break on this anymore because I think it's so much fun. If you like the bracelets, please do follow us on Instagram. Follow ILOVEHUESHOP. Hue is spelled H-U-E. ILOVEHUESHOP for really cool bands for your bracelets. I use mostly earth tones. If you've noticed my designs, I just like to play around with colors just because I have to give it variety. But most often than not, it's earth tones. Although I think I have a feeling we made quite a long bracelet here. I think I placed too much, but hey, at least we got it right? Let me see, because this is supposed to fit around my wrist. Hopefully it's not too big. Ah! Finally! Oh my god! There you go. I have to like pull on it, tug it a bit. But so far, I am loving that red color in green. That is beautiful. You know, it actually looks a bit different from the original one that I made. But the nice thing about this is it kind of looks like a his and hers if you put them beside each other. Yeah. And the blue jelly also gives it more a different character. So it really depends on your taste. But so far it looks great, I think. Oh, let's put the clip. Oh, it's already there. So let's remove that thing. And You have your legend bracelet, of course. That's the color that you like. What I do really, well, you don't really see it when I do it, when I make my designs, is that I actually do spend a lot of time straightening and organizing all of those bands so that they look very clean. And then once you straighten them out, they will actually look pretty neat. So again, like I said, what I like about this design is all you have to do is just play around with it a bit, but you'll notice that there is like a cuffing that appears from underneath there, and those things are actually an added design to the bracelet. So you just push it up, and there you have it. So this is the back part. You have your, sorry, just have to adjust those things. Later on, you'll be able to figure it out. But there, you have the back part, which is nice because you have those spines there. And then the front part, which we usually call the signature part, is that beautiful red line that you see there, and of course the silver armor looking side of it. Okay? This was the very first one that I made. So that's your legend bracelet, and I hope that you like it, and I hope that you like this tutorial, and I hope that you love the bands. So my name is Jace Alvarez again on Instagram. That's me. These are my designs, and of course they are exclusive to ILOVEHUESHOP. Okay, also on Instagram. So please do follow us and like this video and send us messages, requests, everything that you want to learn about, maybe even new tutorials. And if you have designs, you can also share it with us. So please follow us and let us know your thoughts, and also of course order your bands from ILOVEHUESHOP. Okay, really cool looking bands, look at those. Okay, so we'll see you next time. We have more tutorials coming up, and we will be talking about the other bands that we have to offer. So we'll see you next time. Bye.